So go ahead and
Okay, so
start recording now.
let me know when you're ready.
I am absolutely ready.
Okay, so I guess my first question, I've already played a little bit of it, but why don't you go ahead and give me an idea as to the background of the game, how it came about, and the inspiration for it, please?
Sure, absolutely. So we wanted to create a game that started as a cooperative experience, started with something mostly that we wanted people to enjoy as a couch co-op with their friends, with their family. And I'm a big fan of shmups, and a lot of the team members are as well. But we always seen shmups like a very hard experience. The first level, it feels sometimes like a punch in the gut in terms of difficulty. And B.ARK really is our love letter to those shmups from the 90s, playing Gradius, playing Ikaruga, playing Super Earth Defense Force on Super Nintendo. We wanted to share our love for the genre and create an accessible experience that anybody can enjoy with their friends and their family with various degrees of challenge. So if you're a casual player, you're new to the genre, you're going to be able to jump in and enjoy it. If you're more of a shmup veteran, then you're also going to find a level of challenge that suits you.
And that makes a lot of sense because it was very engaging right from the bat, but it also became very challenging pretty quickly. And so with that, I of course was playing with the keyboard. I wasn't using a gamepad on it, so it made it a little harder. But I was curious about the power ups in there. I only obviously got to the basic level of power ups. What are some of the things that we can look forward to moving down the line on it?
So in each level, you have opportunities to upgrade your weapons, but the game is designed mostly to use a lot of the super fusion items that you'll find across the levels if you're playing solo. So you're going to be able to find what we call the fusion drives. So every time you pick one of those up, you can collect them, you can stack them up, and you can activate devastating attacks or things that would support you along the way. If you're playing cooperatively, you can. There's no fusion items. Well, there are a few. Depends on the amount of people that are playing, but everybody can activate their super attacks and they can fuse them together in order to create the same effect. But really, the game is designed around that. As you're upgrading your weapons in each of the levels, you're basically picking up some of the enemy drops that are called plutonium. The more you pick up of those, you're able to make your ship stronger. But if you get hit, you run the risk of actually downgrading your weapon. So you got to be careful there on trying not to get hit.
One of the things I'm always curious about with the retro games is how do you balance giving it a retro look in gameplay, but at the same time understanding there is so much more graphical power, frame rate power, processing power available on the new consoles. It must be very difficult to make it look and play like an older game, but at the same time understand you have so much horsepower and options available to you. So where do you find the balance on that?
So it definitely starts with when we start with the visual direction of it all. We're doing hand-drawn animations. We're doing a lot of BFX. We're trying to pile up all of these bullets and enemies on the screen that are animating at the same time. So there definitely comes a cap in which once we start playtesting and we notice some frame drops, that we know we need to tone it down a little bit. And so it does start with establishing a solid visual direction on where we want to take it. Leverage the capacity of our engine and the hardware that we're targeting, and doing a lot of playtesting to make sure that we're hitting those frame rates.
And have you given any thought to where in the process does the decision to make it solo play versus co op or a variation like that come into play?
I mean, the BARG, you can enjoy it if you're playing single player, and it's really reminiscent of jumping into a Super Nintendo game, popping on Gradius 3, and playing it from beginning to end as a solo experience. And we wanted to make sure that that feels solid and nostalgic. But the fact that we're able to open this up to more people with opportunities like mechanics in which you can pick up players that got their ship destroyed and being able to carry them throughout the level and being able to share the love for the genre. So I imagined myself in that situation of I love shmups. I played them since I was very little, but I got friends, I got family that never got into the genre, and they're kind of scared because of the amount of bullets on screen. It could turn very overwhelming, and the fact that I'm able to carry them and that they can still provide support even if their ship got destroyed, like those are opportunities. It's just fun, cooperative, and sharing the love for the genre. So those are really the mechanics that we wanted to make sure that we got right.
So, what has been the most challenging part of the design for it?
Well, throughout development, the fact that we started 2 weeks before quarantine developing a couch co-op experience was definitely very, very challenging because we needed to do a lot of play testing. We needed to be in the same room together and be able to play the game and see all the opportunities for combining attacks or for supporting each other or making cool attacks that just melt bosses. So it was definitely part of the challenging aspect of balancing a lot of these attacks and how the different types of ships complement each other's abilities. So yeah, I think that the fact that we got into a quarantine and this is a couch co-op was super challenging.
I can imagine. Um, Looking at the platforms, where in the development process do you begin with, okay, it's going to be developed on this platform, and then at what point do you decide, okay, do we look at other platforms, or how does that come into play?
We knew from the get-go that we wanted us to make a Switch game. Nintendo was very supportive on the idea as well, and we figured, hey, we want people to easily carry this in their Switch and pull out a Joy-Con or use two Joy-Cons to be able to share the experience. So from there, we felt that it was a good platform for B.ARK to be in. But at the same time, there's a strong strategy to make sure that some of the console games are also available for PC and make this experience available through the Steam Remote Play features. So yeah, we decided on those two platforms mostly on thinking of our users.
And looking forward, what do you plan to do in terms of, are you going to be adding in new content, uh, cosmetics, anything like that down the line?
Yeah, there's definitely not off the table. We plan on supporting B.ARK as it is for the near future. We've been discussing new designs for new levels, and yeah, potentially also looking forward to new other platforms. But for now, right now, we're just happy this is coming out. It's just an experience that you can enjoy just like a Saturday morning cartoon with your friends and with your family. Future plans for that are still work in progress.
So the last question I have for you is, you'd mentioned development in the pandemic. Has that changed greatly your marketing plans? Because traditionally, for a lot of these games, you know, see them come out at the various trade shows, have something for E3, PAX South, PAX West, PAX Prime, Gamescom, whatever. And with the uncertainty as to, are certain ones going to be, I mean, we've had some that were announced as hybrid in person and online who basically said, nope, we're all online. And then we've had others say, we're going to give it a go and try to have in person shows. Has this complicated your plans for it in terms of marketing and rollout?
Yeah, one of the things that we enjoy of being and participating in events is just the amount of feedback and play testing that happens. There's something about building these sort of games and just being in person, watching other people play them, that you kind of got a grasp of things that could potentially change or pivot from your original designs. and just overall get that reaction in person. But I felt that there's been very positive reception. Lots of great comments on our social media, on our YouTube channels, even our discussion boards in the community hub in Steam. And that positive reception, even though you're reading it and not seeing it in person, is kind of raises that confidence in our marketing. So yeah, I mean it's definitely different. It's just a different way of tackling marketing for these types of products. But yeah, it's these are the times we live in right now.
Perfect. Well, that's all I had. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the demo.
I did very much. Thank you.